What's up, guys? DTM here. I'm happy to be back for E3 2019 predictions. This year I'm going to do my predictions a little bit differently, with EA and Sony both not having a press conference at E3 this year. I'm going to go ahead and forego doing videos for each of them. It just didn't seem like it would make much sense for me to kind of dive into their predictions when they're not going to have a show. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into my predictions for Microsoft's press conference at E3 this year. First up, I think we're going to see 3 brand new studio acquisitions for Microsoft Game Studios, rather Xbox Game Studios. They changed the name late last year. Last year we saw quite a few new studios. We saw The Initiative announced at E3. We saw Ninja Theory, Playground Games, Undead Labs, and Compulsion Games, all of them announced at E3 last year. And then at the end of the year we saw inXile Entertainment and also Obsidian Entertainment as well. So it'll be super interesting to see if we get more studios announced. I do think we will see some. Some that have been floating around have been like Relic Entertainment, who is working on the new Age of Empires game. That is a big possibility of someone who could be acquired. And also there's rumors about a Sony studio, not a Sony first-party studio, but a studio that's traditionally worked on PlayStation exclusives, like maybe Supermassive or Ready at Dawn. One of those studios could possibly be acquired by Microsoft. That'll be super interesting to keep an eye on, and we'll see if that comes to fruition. I might be digging a little too deep on this one, but I think we could see 3 brand new games officially announced and revealed that have ties to Xbox previously, based on some Xbox One X enhanced games that were announced in April. And the games that were announced in April were Ninja Gaiden 2, Fable 2 and 3, and then 3 Splinter Cell games: Splinter Cell Blacklist, Conviction, and Double Agent. The reason why I think these 3 games will be announced is because the timing seems weird. Just 2 months before E3, and you have these games that kind of been rumored to having new sequels coming out very soon. So I think that first off, we could see a Ninja Gaiden 4 officially announced by Team Ninja as an Xbox exclusive, because that franchise does have ties to the original Xbox. But also Fable 4, I think, will be a reboot of the series. But also, I think that Playground Games could possibly show us a CG teaser for that at E3 this year, with a 2021 release date, or maybe no release date at all. I definitely don't think that game's coming anytime soon, but I think it may be important to Microsoft to show, like, hey, here's what all of our studios are working on. So that's kind of interesting on that front. As far as a new Splinter Cell, it would not be unprecedented for Ubisoft to announce something on their stage and then push it on to Ubisoft's stage later the next day in order to show it in more depth. They did that with Assassin's Creed Odyssey most recently. So that's definitely an intriguing possibility. Those 3 games I would definitely keep my eye on for an announcement at E3 at Microsoft's stage. Next up, I think we're going to see a brand new expansion from Sea of Thieves that's officially announced. I'm definitely surprised at how much Sea of Thieves has caught on lately. It really has become a staple for Microsoft, really. A lot of streamers have taken to it. And also the new anniversary update that came out in April, that has been well received as well, adding a lot of content. The thing about Sea of Thieves has been always that it was lacking content. Here we are a year later, and that game is completely different than when it shipped a year ago. I mean, it is very, very different. It is a very different game. And I even told you at my E3 predictions a year ago, that game will be a completely different game a year from now. And it is. It is a completely different game. So I'm super stoked to see Rare finally get some praise for what they have done for Sea of Thieves. Leading into Rare IP, I think we will see Battletoads get an official release date of the end of the summer, and I think we will also see some gameplay from it as well. I'm super intrigued to see what Battletoads really turns into, because I don't really know if that gameplay back in the day really translates that well to now. So I'm kind of interested to see what they do with that gameplay formula. Next, I think we will see Nintendo on stage at Microsoft's briefing to announce a brand new partnership. And this partnership could be Game Pass on Switch. It could be a certain game announced for Switch that is previously an Xbox exclusive. I think we will see some kind of partnership announced and Nintendo on stage physically at E3 this year. That is something super crazy to talk about, because all three big publishers, the big console manufacturers, have never really done this before. They've never collaborated. And the fact that Nintendo and Microsoft are working together so closely, that is something super interesting to watch, and something that Sony, I'm sure, will kind of keep a bated breath about as well. Next is kind of an easy one. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, I think we will see a release date, and I think it will also follow in the same release window as Battletoads, as releasing sometime this summer. Ori and the Will of the Wisps has been a couple years in development, actually like 3 years in development, because Ori and the Blind Forest came out back in 2015, I want to say, 2014, 2015. So it's kind of coming up to that time. We're in 2019 now. That game should be a very, very close to being ready. Ori and the Blind Forest was one of my favorite platformers that I've ever played. That game is so good. The responsiveness of the controls, the gameplay loop, the Metroidvania aspects of the game. It was a super exciting game, and I'm very excited to see what they do with Will of the Wisps. Next, I think we will get our first look at Gears of War 5, an official release date of October of 2019. I think we will see a large chunk of gameplay from the campaign of Gears 5, and I'm super excited to see what they can do to kind of evolve that formula. The campaign in Gears of War 4 was really, really good, and I'm really happy with all the new characters. They all are super cool. Kate, Del, JD, Marcus, Old Man Marcus. Those are all exciting characters, and I'm super excited to see kind of how Kate figuring out who she's related to affects what everyone else is doing around her. So I'm super intrigued to see what they do for Gears 5. Next, I think we will see a large chunk of gameplay officially unveiled for The Outer Worlds from Obsidian. Obviously, we've seen gameplay already, and it's looked really good from everything I've seen. Obsidian has made Fallout New Vegas and South Park The Stick of Truth, both of which I really love. Both fantastic RPGs, very different RPGs, but both really good in their own right. And I really think The Outer Worlds is going to kind of hit that Fallout New Vegas niche that people are kind of looking for. So I'm super intrigued to see more from what they have to show of The Outer Worlds. This one is an exciting one for me. Ninja Theory, I think we will see a brand new IP from them. I obviously love Enslaved, Odyssey of the West, and also DMC. I know a lot of people didn't like DMC who are like big Devil May Cry fans, but I really loved it. I love the action-adventure type of experience. They obviously also made Hellblade, which was a really good game as well. Very different experience than those two, but I am very excited to see what that team at Ninja Theory does. That was one of my favorite acquisitions that Microsoft made last year, in addition to Obsidian that I just talked about a little bit ago. But I'm very excited to see what they have to show us for their new IP. Next, I think we'll see Halo Reach officially get a release date for the Master Chief Collection. That was announced a couple months ago that Halo Reach would be coming to the Master Chief Collection, as well as the Master Chief Collection coming to PC. I think we'll get actual hard dates for those. They're starting testing for those very soon for Halo Reach in particular, and also PC. So I think we will see an official public launch date for those two items at E3 this year. Keeping on the Halo hype train a little bit, Halo Showtime TV show, I think we will get a premiere date of 2020, and I think that will actually get announced before E3, but I wanted to throw it in my E3 predictions just because that show's been in development for so long. Like, since the beginning of the Xbox One, that show has been in development. People didn't think that was even going to come to fruition because it's taken them so long. But the exciting thing to me is that they care about the franchise. When the directors are talking about this, they talk about wanting to remain faithful to the franchise and remain faithful to that story. So I'm very excited to see what they do with that, especially with Master Chief in there. I'm excited to see what other characters they add and how it ties into the overall universe. Everything is very exciting. 343 obviously has an important year this year.
Our duty as soldiers is to protect humanity, whatever the cost.
Halo Infinite will get its official unveiling at E3 this year. There is no doubt in my mind we will get gameplay for Halo Infinite this year, and that has me excited. Halo 5 did not go over as well as 343 had hoped. The campaign was lackluster, to put it lightly. People were mad about Master Chief not being the star of the story the entire time, and not even just that. He was only really in 3 missions, and Spartan Locke took way too much of the forefront away from the Master Chief, and that's not what Halo is. 343 now knows they need a story that focuses on the Master Chief and something that makes fans excited to come back for more. They have the groundwork there. This is 343's Halo 3. You will hear me say that 1,000 times. 343's Halo 3 is Halo Infinite. Halo 5 was their Halo 2. Halo 4 was their Halo CE. Halo Infinite will be 343's Halo 3. It has the possibility of being the greatest Halo game of all time if it does that. You know, Bungie learned a lot from Halo 2 and Halo CE. Halo 3 was the best game of all time, in my opinion. It is the best game of all time. If 343 can do the same things that Bungie did to make Halo 3 the best game of all time, Halo Infinite could become the greatest game of all time. And people talk about Battle Royale and all this kind of crap. Battle Royale is great. Don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed Fortnite. I've enjoyed Apex Legends. But the problem is Battle Royale is a trend. It is not something that is substantially better than anything else that's multiplayer-wise that's out there right now. It's just a trend. The industry has trends. You saw it with, the consistent online experience like Destiny had. That went for a long time with the Division 2 and Anthem and Destiny. There was all those online-focused experiences. Now it's Battle Royale. The next thing is on the next horizon. 343 and Bungie in particular have never been about trends. They've been about setting the trends, and you saw that with Bungie on Destiny. They set the trend of the shared world shooter, and 343 is no different. They want to set trends for Halo. They don't want to follow trends. So while I don't think it's impossible for us to get a mode, and yes, I stress mode because Battle Royale is literally just a mode, there's definitely a possibility we get a mode in Halo Infinite that's Battle Royale, but they aren't going to focus on Battle Royale because they don't focus on trends. They're going to set their own trends. That's why I'm very excited for Halo Infinite, and I do believe it will be 343's best Halo game, and if they do it right, it could be the best Halo game in general of all time.
Halo, it's finished.
No, I think we're just getting started.
The other thing I think we will also get from Halo Infinite is a fall 2020 release date with announcements for Xbox One, PC, and the next generation Scarlet, which we'll talk about here very shortly. Project xCloud, I think we'll get a full live demonstration of its entire capabilities of Project xCloud. I think we could possibly see something on the screen, but also something demonstrated in front of us. Project xCloud is something very intriguing, especially the little device that attaches to your phone. You can put your phone on like with the controller, and it's basically like a portable experience. That's something super intriguing for me. You have a full console quality experience on the go. That's super, super exciting, and I can't wait to see more on Project xCloud. Next, I think we will see a possibility of seeing Rocksteady's brand new game unveiled. I've literally driven myself crazy trying to think about what Rocksteady could be working on. Could they go back to Batman, even though they said that Arkham Knight was their final Batman game? Is it possible that they could want to go back and kind of smooth things over after Arkham Knight didn't necessarily hit the highest level that it should have? Or are they going to do something new like Justice League or TMNT, which both of those were kind of rumored, but it's going to be very interesting to see if they finally unveil their next game. Next, I think we will see Cyberpunk 2077 finally get gameplay officially revealed. We did get a little bit of gameplay last year after people kind of complained about it. I think it was Gamescom where they finally showed off the first gameplay, and it looked super cool. But I think we'll get our first live demonstration of gameplay for Cyberpunk, and I'm very excited to see more from them. CD Projekt Red is a super, super talented developer. Obviously, they created Witcher 3, Witcher 2, Witcher 1. They are a very talented RPG developer, and I'm excited to see kind of what they do, like what Bethesda does with Fallout and Elder Scrolls, etc. Although that's changed a little bit with Starfield now, but I'm very intrigued to see what they can do with like a Cyberpunk next generation type console game. Lastly, I think we will see the next generation Xbox officially announced and revealed for a fall 2020 release next to Halo Infinite. This is super important because a Halo game hasn't launched with an Xbox console since the original Halo on the original Xbox. This is a very intriguing prospect for me because Halo drives Xbox. Halo is Xbox. So while that may not be true today, that's still very true that Halo is a big part of Xbox. So that's going to be intriguing for me to see. And it's also intriguing that Microsoft gets to go first and announce their new console first. They come out and announce their console and try to get some of the goodwill back that they lost with last generation. The terrible marketing plan that they had for Xbox One, it was just a disaster. So I think they will get some of that mind share back. And it will be interesting to see how Sony and kind of Nintendo kind of balance against that when they don't have a show. Microsoft's the only one with a live show this year, a live briefing. So they have a really strong point this year in order to push themselves ahead of everyone else, push them ahead of the competition. So also, I think with this prediction, I think we'll see two different versions of the next generation console, codenamed Scarlet. I think we'll see a $399 price point that will be similar to the Xbox One X in terms of specs. And then I think we will see a more powerful $499 console that will be kind of above and beyond that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they can pack into that console and how big it is as well. The Xbox One X, remember, is the smallest console that they've ever created, which is just insane to me. It blows my mind how they can make it so compact but so powerful. So I'm very excited for that. That's it, guys. That's my predictions for Microsoft's press conference at E3 this year. Next week, I'm going to talk about my predictions for Bethesda. So if you guys want to tune in for that, that'll be posted next Friday at noon. I really appreciate everyone's support. If you could just like and subscribe and share this video, I'd really appreciate the support. If you want to follow me, I'm at DanIsDTM on Twitter, DTM on Xbox, and DTM3000 on PlayStation Network. You can follow me at any of those places, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Again, really appreciate the support, guys, and I love doing these videos. Can't wait to see you next week. The dog is coming. The dog is coming, and he's going to ruin this entire shoot. Oh my goodness gracious. Maybe if we don't acknowledge him, he will go away. Maybe. Or he's just gonna stroll around there. Okay, he might be going away. Alright, cool. What's up, guys? DTM here, back at it with... I'm wearing a Fallout shirt. Well, I'm wearing a Fallout shirt for a freaking Microsoft reveal. I cannot wear a Microsoft. Yeah, alright. We're situated now. Doesn't really make much sense to have a Bethesda shirt, well, Fallout shirt on for a Microsoft E3 predictions video, now does it? Alright.